Welcome to my YouTube channel Digital Academy. Today we are going to see structured data classification in machine learning model. I am the instructor Kalai. I am going to show you the way how I learned this topic. A quick introduction about this session. This course is hands-on driven with coding involved Python, Pandas, NumPy and Scikit-learn package. If you want to know about these two packages, Pandas and NumPy, then quickly watch our YouTube channel video NumPy and Pandas in Python. And this two video will give some insight about these two packages. And we are going to use Jupyter Notebook to do some hands-on and to draft some documentation about this session. If you want to know about the installation step, then quickly watch another video from our YouTube channel. Install Python, Jupyter Notebook and Anaconda on your desktops. Fine, let's get started. When I started to read structured data classification in machine learning model, the first question arises in my mind: what is classification and what is structured data? Then I Google it. What is classification in machine learning model? Classification is a supervised learning concept which basically categorizes a set of data into classes. Here is the key sentence. Categorize a set of data into classes, which means a data that can be categorized into a subgroup or classes is comes under the classification problem in the machine learning model. For example, gender identification. Person is a data. That data can be categorized into a two classes, gender, male or female. So here is the classification problem in the machine learning. And another one, dog breed identification. Here the dog is the data that can be categorized into a subgroup of classes. Say dog breed. Dog breed represents a classes. Here these two example for the classification problem in the machine learning model. There are many more classification problem in the real life, and the another most common classification problems are speech recognition, face detection, handwriting recognition, and document classification. Fine. And the next question, structured data. In real scenario, the data is the key role in all the fields. Without data, you can't do anything. As a data analyst, you have to extract the useful information from the raw data and the data which can be utilized by machine learning experts to build the model to predict some information. Structured data is a data which can be represented in row and column with the column label. For example, the data in the Excel sheets or in the relational database. And unstructured data, audio, video, pictures, there is no relationship between, there is no pattern between each object. So these are all the example for the unstructured data. Before we get into today's session, we want to know what are all the algorithms available in the machine learning model. And sklearn. Sklearn is the scikit-learn package, Python package, the estimator. Choosing the right estimator. Okay, here you could find our problem classification in the machine learning model. It's one of the problem in the algorithm sheet. There are many more here: regression, dimensionality reduction, clustering. Each problem are better suited for different types of data and different problems. Here is the sentence: different estimator are better suited for different types of data and different problems. So as of now, we are going to see in this today's session is the classification problem. Inside that, you could see lots of green color bars. Here are the algorithm which suits for the classification problem. As I mentioned in this beginning, each algorithms are better suited for different types of data and different problem. The different type of data in the sense the classes. For example, there is imbalanced classes between two data. Gender identification, the gender of male, the data which has more number of male record, less number of female, then there is imbalanced. There may be a chance of having more number of female record, then there less number of male record, then there is a imbalanced. And another one, there is equally balanced classes, which means both male and female having the same amount of data. You have to identify the suited algorithm in the algorithm sheet, which will help us to build the machine learning model to predict the gender for gender identifications and dog breed for the dog breed identifications. Type of classification. Here we are going to see type of classification. Binary classification, multi-class classification, multi-label classification, and imbalanced classification. There are many classifications types are available in the machine learning model, but this four classification model widely used in the machine learning field. The first one, binary classification. The example is gender identification. Here, the classes are predefined, which we are going to predict gender, male or female, the class A and class B. So, this two classes which comes under the binary classification. The next one, multi-class classification. For example, if the classes are more than two for the prediction, then and the problem comes under the multi-class classification. For example, dog breed. Here we are going to predict the dog breed. The dog breed is more than two classes, which each dog breed represents a class of each classes. Then the problem comes under the multi-class classification. At the same time, if you want to identify only a two dog breed, then the same problem comes under the binary classification. So you have to identify the right model, whether you want to predict only a two dog breed or more than two dog breeds. Then you have to choose the right classification model. If it is a two dog breed, then you have to choose binary classification. And if it is more than two dog breed, then you have to choose multi-class classification. And the next one, multi-label classification. Here, a news article can be about sports person or a person or location at the same time. For example, in our daily newspaper, you could see different pages where you can find different content with respect to the page label. For example, sports, share market, and many more. Okay, newspaper is the one of the best example for the multi-label classification. And the next one, imbalanced classification. Imbalanced classification refers to classification task where the number of example in each classes is unequally distributed. The imbalanced classification is nothing but the number of classes among two classes are unequally distributed. Example, number of male record is less than the female record in the gender identification. Then the class comes under the imbalanced binary classification. Okay, fine. I'm just showing some example how to find out the algorithm which better suits for your problem. For example, I'm going to binary classifications algorithm machine learning. Here the four types of classification. You just here itself you could see the most popular algorithm that can be used for binary classification include logistic regressions, k-neighbor regressions, and decision tree. These are all the algorithm which you can identify in the classification estimator under the green color rectangular box. Okay, you have to choose the right estimator for your problem and the data to predict the information. Okay, fine. Let's move to the answer. As a first step, you have to make the environment ready by importing Pandas and NumPy package into your Jupyter notebook. By using command import Pandas as PD. I'm going to assign the alias name for to package and import NumPy as NP. We have imported these two package into our Jupyter notebook. And then you have to identify the data to predict some information. I have already the data, weather data in weather.csv, where you can find some of the info about the data which will derive the information for whether it's a rain tomorrow or not. Okay, the rain tomorrow is the target variable which we are going to predict from the feature variable. Let's import this data into our Jupyter notebook. Here is our file weather.csv. I have added in our Jupyter notebook folder, and I'm going to import that file in our Jupyter notebook by using command pd dot. If you press tab, you will get all the functions related to the pandas. T.csv. Inside that you have to pass weather.csv and assign that to the variable. I'm going to df And this function will read the data from the weather.csv and create the data frame df.shape. I'm going to display the first top three row from the data frame. Here is our data. First, you have to identify the shape of data frame. df.shape. This will return tuple with row and column. 25,000 of row and 24 column in the data set. After that, you have to identify the target column in the data frame. Based on our problem, we understood that rain tomorrow. Rain tomorrow is the target column and all other columns are the features column. The rain tomorrow, df dot rain tomorrow, because we are going to predict whether it's going to be a rain or not tomorrow and display. From this target column, we understood that yes and no. Whether it's going to rain, the class A yes, and it's not going to rain tomorrow. Class B no. So it's a binary classification. After that, you have to check whether the class has imbalanced data set. To do that, you have to use the function data frame dot rain the target column rain tomorrow dot value counts. This will return the count of each classes. Here you could see no classes 19,405 and yes classes 5,595. There is a class imbalance in the data frame. Now we are going to see imbalanced class binary classification. It's time to build the machine learning model. I'm going to follow the steps which we seen in our first YouTube channel video, what is machine learning and the real world example. Here is the pipeline. First, you have to be ready with our raw data, which we have already imported from the weather.csv file into our Jupyter notebook and created the data frame df. And the next step is data analyze, where you have to identify the target column and feature column in the data set. I'm going to use x variable for feature column and small y for target column. Use data frame dot the column name rain tomorrow. And then for feature variable, by analyzing our data, I found out the date column here, the date column in the data frame, and the rain tomorrow target column is irrelevant to the target value, whether it's going to be a rain tomorrow or not. So I'm going to drop this two column from the data frame and assigning back to the variable x, which is the feature variable. Fine. df dot drop. Use the drop function where you have to pass the column which you want to drop from the data frame. Rain tomorrow, tomorrow, and the next column is date. Also, you have to pass the axis. In our case, I'm going to drop the column, so axis 1 and display the shape y dot shape. Here is our feature data frame and the target data frame. Fine. The next step is pre-processing. Pre-processing the data. It is one of the important steps in the machine learning model pipeline where you have to convert the entire data frame to integer or float data type, because machine can understand binary value either 0 or 1. It is relevant to the float or integer data type. As part of this step, first you have to understand the data frame data type. I'm going to use info function to identify the data type of each column. Here is our data frame column data type. Here, some of the columns are object data type, location and the wind gesture direction object and wind direction 9 a.m., 3 p.m. and rain today. These are all the object data type. So first you have to extract this column from the data frame. In machine learning, there are n number of way, which means the different approach you can use to convert the entire data frame to integer. But in this session, I'm going to use some specific functions where you can easily convert the data from object to integer. In the upcoming session, for the different algorithm, machine learning algorithm, we will try some different approach to convert the data frame column object to integer or boolean data type. First, I'm going to use the column variable name df dot categorical column. Here you have to use the data frame x. I'm changing the variable name x underscore category because we are going to use the x data frame. It's a feature column. And then you have to select the column, and if you press tab, this will populate the function that will make our life easy. Inside that function, you have to pass the column or data type which you gonna extract. I'm going to pass object for the keyword include. Inside that, you have to pass the square bracket and the data type object. And this x underscore category variable will fetch all the object column from the data frame. See, location, wind gesture, direction, 9 a.m., 3 p.m., and rain today. These are all, this five column are the object data type in our data frame. And the next step, you have to convert this data column to integer. Out of this five column, I'm going to convert the data type for rain today column first because the rain today column has boolean value yes and no, and all other columns are the categorical column which we will see next. Fine. X dot rain today dot value count. We have only yes and no value and its count. We are going to use some simple arithmetical operation to convert the type object data type to integer. Fine. Int of function. You pass the object yes because we have yes and no object. I'm getting some error. Then I'm removing the object and I'm passing yes. Yeah, I'm getting some error. If I pass the boolean data type, I'm getting integer value 1 for true, and if I pass, I'm getting 0 for the false boolean type. Okay, but in our column we have yes and no object data type. First, you have to convert this object data type to boolean true and false, and then you can easily convert the integer data type. To do that, I'm going to use some simple conditional operator equal to equal to. See here, yes, yes, yes. This will return the boolean data type if the condition satisfies true, and if it is not satisfies no. Right. And then you can easily convert the boolean data type to integer. Let's follow the steps to convert our data frame to integer data type. Capital X, square bracket of column name, rain today, the column which we are going to update, and then square bracket of column name, COL. Here I am going to define the column name variable where you have to create the list of the column name which you want to update. In our case, I'm going to update rain today and pass the variable inside the square bracket equal yes. Fine. It's a conditional operator. And click enter, and this will update boolean. Let's check the column value count. Capital X dot column name rain today dot value count. Yeah, it's converted. Now the value are true and false. Just leave as it is. Let's check the categorical column. First, you have to differentiate the categorical column with other column because both Boolean column and category column are the object data type. But by using value count, you can easily identify the categorical column. See, x dot once you extract the object column from the data frame, and then you have to use value count function. See, the entire 25,000 row has only this value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only the 9 value which present in entire 25 row for column location, which means it's a categorical column. If you check another column, wind direction at 3 p.m., the entire 25 row has only this value in the column for wind direction 3 p.m. So these four column are the categorical column. Here we are going to use one hot encoding to convert the categorical column to integer column. It's one of the important activities in the machine learning model pipeline step pre-process. As part of pre-process, you have to convert the entire data frame to integer format so that you can pass the data frame to test or train the machine model. I'm going to Google the word one hot encoding. One hot encoding. Whenever you stuck in the middle of any machine learning build, then the only option is the Google. You just search the keyword, you will get some info. That info will help us to move forward. Okay. Under the image section, you could find the image. Yes, this one. If you click, this will redirect to the Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is one of the portal where you can find huge amount of information. Let assume this is our data frame and we have two column id and color. Id, we have ids, and color white, red, black, purple and gold. We have 5 row. One hot encoding format, it's something which we will convert the categorical column to integer column. To do that, you have to find out the value, how many unique value are there in the column color. White, red, black, purple, gold. All are unique value. Then you have to add extra column white with the color column value. White, red, black, purple and gold. After that you have to match the value. If it is in the first row for the ID 1, we have color white. Then you have to put 1 and all other column 0. And the next row ID 2, red. Here you have to put under the red column 1 and remaining column white, black, purple, gold are 0. Likewise, you have to add only for the column black the ID 3 and purple for purple column and gold for gold column. All other columns are 0. This is how the one not encoding format convert the categorical column to integer format column. Let's do the same in our Jupyter Notebook program. First, I'm going to display the data frame x dot head, and then I'm going to check the type of x and the shape of x, because once you apply the one not encoding format, the shape of data frame is totally changed because the new column gets added based on the categorical column value. X dot shape, type is data frame and the shape 25,000 and 22 column. Now I'm going to use pandas function get dummies pd dot get underscore dummy. If you press tab, this will auto populate the function. Inside the parenthesis, you have to pass the data frame x and then the column which you want to convert, which means the categorical column. Columns square bracket. I'm going to use the categorical column name, location, wind gesture, direction 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. You have to give double quotes. After that, you have to mention the prefix. Same location, wind gesture, and 9 a.m. 3 p.m. Because once you convert categorical column to integer column, you need to understand what are all the columns are newly added and based on the categorical column value, so that the location prefix get added for all the value which are available in the location column. Likewise, each column value gets added the prefix with the column name. Fine. And I'm going to assign some variable to store the updated data frame. Df underscore du. Display the column of df underscore the updated data frame column. Here we have added location prefix for the location categorical column. The same prefix gets added for the location category unique value. Location, all the prefix location column are newly added as part of location categorical column, and the suffix value or the unique value in the location column. Fine. And the likewise you could see wind gust direction. It's a prefix for the wind gust direction categorical column because we have added here. Yes. And then the suffix value or the unique value in the wind gesture direction categorical column. You could see this in the above here. Here you could see the all unique value in the categorical column wind gust direction. The all the value you could find it out in our suffix with the prefix of column name wind gesture direction. Likewise, you could find 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Fine. Also, you can check the shape of df underscore dump dot shape. It's changed 75 column now after one hot encoding. In this section, we are going to see simple imputer. You just search this keyword in Google, simple imputer. Simple imputer function is part of sklearn package. It's a scikit-learn Python package and imputation transformer for completing missing value. From this description, I understood that simple imputer function is used to fill some value in the missing cell. You might seen in our weather.csv file where we have imported the data for creating the data frame. Some of the column has blank value and everywhere in the Excel sheet you could see some blank value. We can't use this blank data frame to train or test the machine model. You have to make sure that the entire data frame has some value. For that, we are going to use simple imputer. When you import this CSV file data into our Jupyter notebook, the value of blank, it's converted to NaN. See here the evaporation. These are all the blank value which we see in the Excel sheet, but while it's importing from the CSV file to our Jupyter notebook by using panda command read underscore CSV, this will convert NaN. Everywhere you could see NaN. You have to identify first how many blank cells are there in each column. For that, I'm going to use function df, it's a data frame, is NA function, and I'm going to sum the value. See, this function, this two function will return the count of blank cell on each column. Minimum temperature, maximum temperature, rainfall. Has see 331 cells are blank for minimum temperature and the evaporation column which we seen in our Excel sheet. See here, see it's 15,568 column are blank value. You have to fill some value on each cell in the data frame to make sure that it has some value to train or test the machine model. Let me quickly check some sample example for simple imputer function. Here is our site sklearn Python package for simple imputer. If you scroll down below, you could see some example. You just copy this code and paste it in our Jupyter notebook. What they are doing here, they are just importing the numpy package and then they are importing simple function from impute package and they are creating some impute
mean variable where they are calling the simple imputer and passing two parameters, missing value and strategy.
If you click Shift tab, you will see some pop-up window where you can find the description about the function simple imputer. Okay, Shift tab. And here they have provided what are all the parameters which required to call the simple imputer. But in our case, we have used only the two parameter missing value and strategy. And if you scroll down, you could see the parameters detail, why it's required and what are all the value which we need to pass on to these parameters. Here, the strategy. The default is mean, but we do have some more strategy, mean, median, most frequent. You can also try it different strategy to apply your missing value in the data frame. Okay, fine.
Let me realign this code to make it understand clearly. I'm just cutting this and creating some variable for data frame df ed dot data frame, and then I'm going to replace the value with our variable. Here data frame, click shift enter, see NaN value. Let me display the data frame. Sample data frame. See here the index for column, and the left side is the index for row, and inside the second row the index 1 we have NaN, which means the blank cell. After transforming the data frame by using the simple imputer method, you could see some value here 3.5. How it's come? We used the strategy to put a mean value of the column, which means 2 and 5. 2 plus 5, 7 divided by 2 is equal to 3.5. 3.5 is the mean value. Fine. Now I'm going to apply the same code for our variable, which is our data frame df underscore dump. Copy this, and I'm going to just cut this first line because our variable is df underscore dump, and then you just replace the variable sample underscore df with our data frame variable df underscore dumm, and then here one more place, and just assign this to x underscore matrix. Fine. We have applied the simple imputer function for our data frame df underscore dumm. Let's print our data frame variable x underscore matrix. See, all values are updated. Also, you could see that type, the type at the beginning of this session, what I told at the beginning. The simple imputer will fill some value in the blank cell. Also, it convert the type of data frame to n-dimensional array. That's why it's changed because we already applied the simple imputer and assigned that updated array to our new variable x underscore matrix. Fine. This is simple imputer. At last, we come to the last activity in the pre-process session, standardization. Let's search the word standardization in Google with the Scala package because the standardization is part of Scala Python package. Click the standard scalar. Standard scalar is the process of removing the mean and scaling it to the unit variance. Because as part of simple imputer, we have used the strategy mean to put the mean value in the missing cells. Due to that, the value in the column may extend to some variance. To avoid that, we are going to apply the standard scalar method to scaling the to unit variance
between the interval -1 to +1. Fine. Let's check some example below. Here is some example. You just copy and paste it in our Jupyter notebook and remove all unwanted line, like this one is not required and the last one is not required, and run this cell. See, the entire data frame has changed to the interval -1 to +1. In this data frame, we have two values, 0 and 1. 0 is the less value, which is equivalent to the -1 in the standard scalar, and the positive value, which is 1, is equal to the +1 in the standard scalar. If you change all the 1 to 10 and see the result, again you will get the same result, because the less value in the data frame is 0, which is equivalent to the standard scalar is -1, and the larger value 10, which is equivalent to the standard scalar, is +1. Fine. If you change this one 0 to 5, again you could see the same result, because here the data frame, the less value 5 is equivalent to the standard scalar value -1, and the larger value 10 is equal to the standard scalar value +1. I'm going to change any of these element 5 to 4 and see the result. The value is changed to some value in between the interval -1 to +1. Here they have changed 0.099, which is lesser than +1, and here they have changed negative zero point .8, which is greater than -1. Fine. Standardization is the process of removing the mean and scaling into the unit variance. Let's copy this entire code and paste it below for applying our variable, which is X matrix, and cut this line because we are going to use our data frame X matrix, and paste and run it. You just cut this print statement and assign it to some variable. I'm going to use X, capital X, and shift enter. Print this. See, at last we have applied standard scalar for our matrix X matrix, which is the value of -1 to +1 interval. Let's move to the next section, training the machine model. Let's quickly check our machine learning model pipeline. So far we have seen raw data, data analysis, pre-processing. Now we come to the training. Before we train the model, we are going to do one more step where we going to extract the entire n-dimensional array to two sections, where we going to use the first section for training the model and another section for test the trained model.
In this section, we are going to split the entire array into two sections, one for training and another one for test. For that, I'm going to use the scikit-learn package model selection from sklearn dot. If you click tab, this will auto-populate the function or package. Okay, import here. If you import and then tab, this will populate all the functions for the package model selection. In our case, we are going to use train underscore test underscore split. After that, you have to create four different variables for storing the data. For training feature and testing feature, and another two for training label and test label. Train underscore data, comma, test underscore data, comma, train underscore label, comma, test underscore label equal to function train underscore test underscore split. Inside the parenthesis, you have to pass feature variable and the target variable. which we transformed from the standard scalar. X is the feature variable and the small y is for the target variable. Here, the data analysis section, we have separated feature variable and the target variable. Y is the feature variable. I have used it here, and then you have to mention the test size. Out of one interval, you have to mention. If I give 0.2, which is equivalent to the 80 percentage of data used for training and 20 percentage for test the train model. If I give zero point 0.5, then half of the data, 50 percentage will be used for training and test the data. But here I am going to use zero point 0.2 in our case, so zero point 0.2, and display all this variable with dot shape function so that you can identify the shape of each array and click shift enter. The train underscore test underscore split function will split the entire array into two group, 20,000 record for training and 5,000 record for test. This two set for feature variable and another two set for the target variable. And the first and third is gonna used for training, and second and fourth will be used for test the train model. Fine. Next section is model section. Based on our data and the problem, we are going to choose the right estimator from the sklearn package. Okay. Now I'm going to search in Google sklearn package estimator, where we're going to pick some of the algorithm which suits on our data and the problem. Our problem is to predict whether it's going to be a rain tomorrow or not. Let's search sklearn estimator. Click the image and choose the first one, and this will redirect to the scikit-learn package. Do you remember this image we have seen in the beginning of this video? A sklearn algorithm cheat sheet. Our problem is classification. Each rectangular and square green boxes are the classification algorithm, where we gonna pick some of the algorithm which suits our data. Based on the experiment, we gonna choose the best one for our classification problem.
Let's follow the scikit-learn algorithm cheat sheet. Here is the starting point, and then it comes to the next circle. Here the sample should be greater than 50. In our case, we have 25,000 sample data. Then it's satisfied, it comes to the next one, predicting the category. Whether we can able to predict the category? Yes. In the target column, we have yes and no, whether it's going to be a rain tomorrow or not, which means two category. Then it comes to the next one, labeled data. We have target column, which is nothing but the labeled data. Yes, it's satisfied. It goes to the classification problem. Here, the sample data should be lesser than 100k. Yes, in our case, it's not satisfied because we have only 25,000 record. And it comes to the first algorithm, linear SCV. Okay, fine. Let's move to the next one, text data. We don't have any text data in our problem. Then it moves to the next algorithm, k-neighbor classifier. Fine. And the next one, SCV, ensemble classifier. This algorithm cheat sheet suggesting us to check linear SCV, k-neighbor SCV, and ensemble classifier. So now I'm going to pick some of the algorithm among these three algorithm which suits our data. Okay, this is how we have to use the algorithm cheat sheet to choose the algorithm for our problem. Okay, fine.
Click ensemble classifier. This will redirect to the ensemble classifier methods, where you can find some of the algorithm. I'm going to use some of the algorithm with our data to experiment. First to classifier, I'm copying and pasting it our Jupyter notebook to experiment with our data. And below I'm going to use the last three. Let's experiment this five algorithm from the ensemble classifier. After that, you have to create variable for each algorithm function. BAG is equal to bagging classifier and kn neighbor for kn neighbor classifier, and then random forest rn equal to random forest classifier and extra tree classifier et is equal to extra tree classifier, and then last one decision tree dt is equal to decision tree classifier function. Now I'm going to fit the classifier with our training data by using fit function. Fit inside that you have to pass the training data and training label. You just copy and paste four more, two, three, four, five, and replace all bag with our respective classifier. The last one decision tree. After that, I'm going to evaluate the trained model because in this step the model gets trained. Now I'm going to evaluate the trained model with our test data. Same, a BAG variable with score function. Inside that you have to pass test feature variable and test target variable. And you just copy and paste four more for other algorithm. KN random forest ET and decision tree classifier. You just display by using delimiter command. Click shift enter. This will take some couple of minutes because each algorithm will fit with the training data 20,000 and then it will evaluate with the test data 5,000. Please hold on until the cell execute complete. Here is the result. The first one for bagging classifier and the second one for k-neighbor classifier, third one for random forest classifier, fourth one for extra trees classifier, and the last one is decision tree classifier. Out of five, first, second, third, bagging classifier, random forest classifier, decision tree classifier suits better for our problem and the data. And other two, it's the 80 percentage. The score will be predicted out of 1. So if 0.81, which means 80 percentage, and here 0.90, extra tree classifier only predict 90 percentage for the test data, but bagging classifier, random forest classifier, decision tree classifier predicted the target variable from the feature variable 100% accurate based on the training data set. Fine. Now we are not going to do any more experiment with other model in the cheat sheet because we have already achieved 100% for some of the model in the ensemble classifier, bagging classifier, random forest classifier, and decision tree classifier. These three classifier already achieved 100% for the test data set, and this three model suits best for our problem imbalanced binary classification. If you want to do any more experiment with other model, then you just pick some of the model from k-neighbor classifier and linear SCB. If you click any of this icon, this will redirect to that home page where you can see some of the model k nearest neighbor,
and KD tree. You just follow the steps given in the algorithm cheat sheet and experiment with our data set. Okay, fine.
Before winding up today's session, let's quickly check upcoming topics.
In the upcoming section, you are going to see how to evaluate the trained model. So far, you have seen how to choose the best model from the algorithm sheet and build for your classification problem. Don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel, Digital Academy. Thank you.